why we have it on screen.
No.
Can't see on his laptop.
No.
Are the mics on?
I'm on.
Randy will get it in a second.
What? And
We are live.
there,
Yes.
I guess that one I did. Plug this guy in. It's Blair.
Doesn't need any sympathy points anyway.
So I've done that. What's the next step? Just
Okay, what communication did I miss that said that the
I just
the
opened.
Roger
Missed you,
deal
Chad.
was early? Hi.
It was on the agenda.
Was it?
It was on attached to my agenda that I sent out as a draft.
I completely missed that.
I'm sorry.
Just gonna
Put
sit
it on the
here
back.
and
So please
listen.
remember, we're gonna do Rocket at 6:30 and so and so.
Are we on?
Oh, my, the whole audience?
Yes.
And just.
I'll let you know when we did that.
Oh, I'm not there. I got the parking.
I don't know if she can figure it out.
You have to set it up. Okay.
It's not just a
Yeah.
great there.
Is that door open?
Yes, they're all unlocked.
Okay. Well, given that it is 7 o'clock and we have a standing room only audience, I would like to call to order the meeting of September 19, 2017 of the Hideaway Hills Board of Trustees. We have everyone here who was expected to be here. We have 3 absentees, Dave Miller, Jim Lloyd, and Greg Batassin. They all have recreational opportunities that they are not able to be with us tonight. The rules say that only members and staff are permitted to be in attendance. Robert's Rules of Order will apply at the meeting except during the open forum, when they will not be strictly observed, and the chair will serve as the moderator. This trustees meeting, only board members will participate, and the chair can allow other people to speak at his discretion. Again, the record of that we will have, of course, we have a video record as well as minutes. Those will be the official records of the meeting tonight. That being said, may I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So you first.
Motion by Linda Lonsinger,
Second.
second by Fritz Reiser. Thank you. Can we have a vote then to adopt the agenda? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you very much. This is my first meeting of the Board of Trustees as an actual voting member. Previously, I've attended meetings for several years as the Management Committee Chair, but this is a new experience to sit at this end of the table. Given that this is not the President's report, but the Vice President's report, I would like to indicate or recognize the new members of the board that we have this year. I think one of the vitality, one of the really great things about Hideaway Hills are the people who come and volunteer. And on top of that, I think it's also good to get a lot of new people involved, get new perspective, new skills, new talents, and I think fresh perspective. And so here we have Fritz Reiser, who is here, and Dwayne Mickey, who are both here. Linda Lonsinger also won election, as well as Eric Lapp. They have been here on the board for a short period of time within the last year. So we have of the 9 votes, 5 of us are fairly new people, and so that's not to say that we don't value our more senior members of the Board of Trustees. But anyway, I think I'm really looking forward. I think we have a lot of things to do. I'm looking forward to working with Greg. I think Greg has done a good job as president, and I'm pleased that he is going to continue on as our president. I'm the vice president. Eric Lapp has taken on the role of secretary, and Tom Matthews is as the treasurer. So we have new people in 3 of the 4 slots. So it'll be lots of new experiences and opportunities to do additional things. The other piece I think that I want to mention of the Vice President's report is that here we are at the end of September. This is the first year in 4 years that the lake has been available for all of our members. And I'm going to declare it a rousing success. I think people have had a good time. I think they've enjoyed it. Our dam has performed admirably. We have a few issues yet, to work out. We know what they are, and none of them are insurmountable. I know the management committee is looking hard at some of the ways to improve it, deal with some of the issues we have, but I think for the great majority of the summer, people have had a great time and they've enjoyed it, and it's been part of that. So I congratulate everyone. I'm pleased to say this because it was much anticipated. A tremendous amount of sacrifice on people's part to make this all work and to have it work as well as it has. Again, we can consider ourselves grateful. If we had this summer's weather a year ago, we would have never been able to finish that dam, and I don't know what would have happened. But as it turned out, with the combination of a good contractor and good engineering and good support from the staff and the membership here, it turned out to be just, I think, a success. And so on that note, I will conclude my first vice president's report, and then we can move on to the rest of the agenda. Eric, do we have any correspondence tonight?
We do not.
His first. Very good. We have the minutes. We have to consider the minutes from the last meeting. Everybody's got a copy of them in your packet.
Here are the minutes.
All right. We have a motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
I move.
Wayne Mackey has moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Tom Matthews. Dave Matthews or Tom Matthews? Tom Matthews. Any discussion at all on the minutes? There being none, may I have a vote to approve the minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Moving along, Tom Matthews, you're up.
As far as the treasury reports, as of August 31st, 2017, in the Benton County Bank, we had $68,203.45.
Thank you. Any questions of Tom at all?
Just one. Do we have last month's balance for the Drainage Committee? There was a.
Yeah, I talked to Brenda about that. She went back, I was up there today, she went back like 3 or 4 months and it's still
All that been that way?
yeah, and she said it may involve the amenities money, that, if you get with her. But she went back the last 3 months and it was still the 952.13.
So
there's
amenities
something
money
else.
is it different? He might have.
It may be
added two together, is that-
amenities money. This is just committee money.
Yeah, there's two pieces. The committee money is the money that the committees generate through their fundraisers and donations and the like. The amenities is a process that takes place in the last month of the year. And what we do is the committees, the long range planning administers the project, but 50% of the new member fees, so it's around $2,200 per new member, goes to those folks, to the committees. Then they develop proposals and then they basically allocate those funds out to the committee. And so that's the difference between your amenities versus the committee funds themselves. Both of them are available to the committees to spend, but the rules are different. Simply the amenities funds, they have to write a proposal, they have to share with the other committees, and then an allocation is made in a meeting late in the year.
Sheet they have to
That's
fill
correct.
out for all
That is correct. That is correct. Whereas the funds that we will be talking about here in the highlight of the evening is when we approve all the payments that come out of the committee funds themselves. And those have to actually be brought to the board and approved in that way. And each of the board reps for that individual committee bring those requests to the board.
Finding that total.
Pardon?
How do I find that total? The amenities
I
total?
mentioned it to Brenda. I think it has to do with some of the amenities money.
Brenda is the one who keeps the balances of the amenities fund. That's correct. And again, this year it looks like it's going to be a pretty good year for. I think it's going to be probably $100,000 or so. And then again, we've had a tremendous number of sales. Last year it was a much smaller program, and that was because we asked the committees to allocate the first $100,000 of the amenities project to finish the dredging and the removal of the material from the north end and to fix up the North Park. So there was only, what, $30-some thousand that were made available at that time. But so this year, that isn't the case. So I'm sure that all the committee members are busy coming up with good plans. I know the pool folks are working on theirs fairly soon. And so encourage your groups to look at it, because it's a very interesting process, and it's very responsible. The committees come together, they evaluate each other's programs, they discuss it, and then they ultimately decide what they're going to go with.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
I just fell with a new member and we're lucky. Thanks. All right, I'm done drilling. That being said, let's go on to the management committee. We have the interim chair of the management committee is here with us tonight, Chas Cross. Chas.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The first real quick order of duty is once I am confirmed, I will authorize that we buy a nicer looking ladder for the digital equipment that we use at the board meetings. Or at least get that one painted. In the capital fund, we've got $161,626. In the depreciation fund, we have a total of $56,604. I want to kind of expand on something that Jim said at the last management committee meeting. We voted to complete and no longer provide Lake of the Four Seasons updates, which was a milestone for all of us. We were all instrumental in working with Jim to get this thing done, and we feel as though with the completion of especially the lighting, and we have one little touch-up piece to do that Jim's helping out with, which is remediating the small problem we have with the boat ramp, that we can go ahead and take it off the list every month, and we'll end up just update a la carte on things that we see that need to be taken care of. We are in the process of looking at a couple of management committee meetings back. We had some folks along with Randy that came to us and said there's a huge concern that we be prepared for the handling of packages for this Christmas holiday season. No big secret that people are now having hot tub covers delivered, and car tires and all kinds of large things. And quite honestly, we just can't handle them in the current guard shack. We intend to buy or temporarily rent a building that we could purchase if we so wish after we're done with the peak season, and put it in play behind the current guard shack, create an exit out of the back side of the guard shack, and you'll be able to walk into this barn. And that's where the packages will be. On the other end will be a set of double doors that UPS and FedEx drivers can back up to and unload the packages. It's a temporary fix. We do intend to rebuild and redo the guard shack next year. We're currently looking into the costs associated with that, but the bottom line is the current one has served us well, and we've outgrown it, and we need to replace it. So one of the things we did when you saw the construction associated with the septic system that we just redid for the restrooms down there was, we went halfway between there and the leach bed, which is where the old where we had the pontoon boats parked for a couple years, and we roughed in all of the plumbing necessary for that building so that when we do build it, we can even put restrooms in there for the guards, which is long overdue. So we voted to go ahead and move forward with that, and it's 3 to 4 weeks to build the building, and we'll have to put a base down there for it, and figure out a way to get some electric in it, and get ready for the peak season. So one of the things that we had on our list that we were assisting with were some equipment needs for the lodge, and Matt's desires to replace a couple of key pieces of equipment. We have turned that back over to the to John Blankenship and Jim in the food services committee or the food,
Task force.
Yeah,
Food services
the task force.
We're not officially a committee, we're a task force.
Because quite honestly, I mean, this is right in their wheelhouse, and really we're getting ready to enter into something that would be better off taken care of by the people that know a little bit more about the restaurant industry than we do. We, as of tonight, when I am confirmed, we'll start the search to replace the open position on the management committee. We've got a couple of folks that have registered a desire to at least sit down and talk with us. If you know anybody that would be worthy of the position and is willing to do it, please bring their name to us, and I will reach out to them. I have kind of waited until I was confirmed before I moved forward with that because I thought it was proper protocol. Last but not least, we also discussed and have decided that we're going to change the management meeting format a little bit going forward. As I looked at what we were doing, I think it served us well for quite some time. But it appears to me as though there are times when we get a mile wide and inch deep. So what I proposed and we've accepted is that we're going to go through the normal updating of projects and things like we normally do. We won't spend a bunch of time discussing the fine details of those particular items. But what I want to do is create a priority list that we can look at every meeting and spend a significant amount of time discussing how we're going to plan, execute, and complete the top items on our list every time we meet. And I think by doing that, we'll be able to complete projects faster. We'll know where we're at with them, and we'll have the proper amount of time for everybody to have their say and commit to key deadlines and deliverables associated with some of our projects. So, the bottom line is that we've got some projects, quite honestly, and I'm not going to kid you, and I'll tell everybody here that have drug on way too long. There are reasons why they've drug on way too long. We let them drag on way too long as well. And we got some things that we need to get knocked out here pretty quick, which is going to happen. From there, we'll create the list. We're open to input from anybody on what they think the big ticket items are, or what we need to tackle first, and we'll get started with the next meeting.
Thank you, Jess. I would indicate this, as he said here, if people are interested, this is self-serving, but after having been on the management committee for 7 years, it's a very rewarding experience. You learn a lot about what's going on here. You have a great deal of impact, and it's a good group to work on. And the people are very welcoming of ideas and thoughts. So if there's anybody else out there
Jim, I have one other thing associated with the new meeting format. We are going to, a couple times a year, have our key supervisors in, and we're going to dedicate the meeting to them to discuss nothing but their ideas, their concerns, and things of that nature. Those individuals are Randall Rose, who heads up the security, and Rick O'Neill, who heads up the maintenance crews. And this isn't anything other than to just give them their time in front of us. And I think by watching how we do discuss things and how we come to conclusions on their behalf, they'll be a little more well-rounded as it relates to knowing what we're doing. And they have the opportunity to explain to us what they're doing. So I would tell you that both of them were a little shaky on that concept, but we'll break it around. Yeah.
Jess, on that temporary building, is that going to be something that when the new building is built, that temp can be deconstructed and reconstructed somewhere else on the property for use, or?
We've got two options with that. Because we were up against some Christmas,
right.
We elected to go ahead and rent it. and then we have the option to buy it. The thing we didn't want to do was have someone create a use to keep it. So I think what we want to do is step back a little bit and say, hey, do we really need it? Because we do have an option that for under $1,000 could serve our purpose. And I'm quite sure we're gonna have plenty of people that make a run at a reason why we should keep it. But we're gonna make sure the reason is valid, because I don't really think we're maxed out in some of the other facilities we have currently. Now, some of them are, but I think that probably the reasons to keep it, in my eyes at this time, are subject to us verifying what's going on. So, but we've already had, people say, well, and then we can use it, but we just want to make sure. So,
Thank you.
Any other questions at all, Chance? Thank you very much, sir. Moving on, Randy.
Thank you,
The
sir.
General Manager's report.
Delinquency totals are interesting. The assessments, delinquency assessments for last month, 8/15, were at 56,385. This month they are at 46,345. So that's a $10,000 drop in delinquencies. Some of you folks, probably a lot of you folks, don't remember here about 7 or 8 years ago, they were up in the 150, 165,000 range. And so with the delinquency panel and management, we've done a terrific job of getting them back down. Roads, last month was 12,693. That was higher because that was the first time they became delinquent. They are down to 8430. So we've made big strides on that also. Dam assessment total is 334,764. That's what we have in the bank to pay.
That's the balance, not the.
That's
not
the balance. Yeah, that's the balance. To pay the dam payments. Also, it was suggested after the storm on July 10th and then the recurring one on July 22nd that we see if we could get a way for members to discard some of their brush and things that they accumulated on their property. We were successful in getting an open burning permit from the EPA, which is what we had to go through, and with the help of one of our members, because I wasn't getting anywhere, we were able to get that permit, which we have now. Now, at the next management committee meeting next week, we're going to discuss how we're going to manage that. Because we're not real sure. We have certain speculations that we have and regulations we have to go through in order to manage that. So we're going to discuss at that meeting how to do that. So as of now, that hasn't been announced because we don't really know how we're going to manage it because we have certain speculations that we have to adhere to. So also, if you probably noticed that there is a new road that has been built down to the dumpster at the maintenance building. The reason for that is that maintenance came to us and several times said it's really dangerous down here with members going through the maintenance area while we're trying to move in and out with equipment, dump trucks. And so management decided that we go ahead and build that road. It is now open, and which we will announce as well to everything but heavy equipment. We don't want any heavy equipment down through there. It's going to take some selling. It's going to be a little soft, but it's going to keep our maintenance guys and our members a lot safer because they won't have to go past the maintenance building and in the area where the heavy equipment is.
we also replaced twofold the amount of trees that were taken out. And they are planted and in place.
Yeah.
And
That was one of the concerns.
Nicer looking trees too, because the couple
Yeah.
we took out were
Well,
pretty
they
scraggly.
help maintain them.
Yeah, we'll
Water
maintain
and all
it,
that.
yeah.
Good.
As a matter of fact, Paul Heimberger, who's on the management committee, suggested we get some of those watering bags, which we found some, ordered them today, and they should be in Thursday, or supposed to be in Thursday, to help with maintaining them as well. So that's a good thing. One of the projects that was ongoing project that has taken forever, which Chaz was referring to, was getting a new front entry door for the lodge. And that door has been on site now for about 2 months while we were trying to get somebody to install it for us. We have made that decision, and so that should, hopefully will be started on this weekend. I'm not positive of that. But we have decided on a contractor to do that, so that should be put into place here shortly. We're going to use the same glass that's in there. It's going to be repaired. It's got one little crack in it. We are replacing the door, but we are going to use the same glass that's been there. So the door we've got is made and cut for that glass, so that will be replaced, and it'll look really nice. And then it'll be repainted. Chip and seal is almost complete. They got the last load in this morning, as a matter of fact, and so they'll be finishing that up this week, our chip and seal program. The pontoon storage area, I want to say a little bit about that. People's had a lot of questions about that and where to put boat trailers and what they're going to do about the pontoon storage. That is going to be at the old Ball Diamond location. Now, I put out an e-blast here several weeks ago asking people to remove their trailers from the Ball Diamond by October 1st, so that maintenance can go in there and prepare that area for the pontoon removal, which is going to be October 22nd, I believe. So, October 21st, I'm sorry, thank you. And so that's going to happen here soon. There was some items over there that needed to be removed that nobody claimed. And I was given permission to remove that stuff, and I think Doppelmayr was in there this morning to do that. Not this morning, then tomorrow morning, to get that out of there to make a little bit more room for those boat trailers to come back over there. Probably not enough room for all of them, but we'll get as many over there as we can. And last but not least, our fall cleanup, which we started here just several years ago, free to the members. It's drop-off only. It's going to be October 11th, which is a Wednesday, to October 18th, which is also a Wednesday. It'll be a one week, and it's for members to drop off their unwanted items that can't go into the dumpster down by me. We'll have dumpsters in. We'll call them in on Monday. We'll probably get there on Tuesday, and they'll be ready for filling up. So, and that's all I have, sir, unless somebody has questions.
I have one, and I sort of know the answer, but in terms of the time frame of the burn permit, we only have a specified amount of time before that's finished.
We do. There's quite a few regulations there. We can only have the piles 10 by 20. I talked to Rick about that today. We're going to put it in the borrow pit, keep it away from the track, put it in the borrow pit. Rick is going to mow that area, and after we talk about it, how we're going to administer it, management, there'll be an announcement made on that. Yeah.
Just want to make sure that people just didn't start bringing stuff.
Right.
They need to wait for direction.
Yes.
We're thinking about asking for help from the National Guard to help us do that.
Well, we had to declare it a disaster area to get this burn permit, so it's.
One other thing as it pertains to the pontoon boat storage area, we do intend to plant trees along the roadway so that as people come around the corner down past the swamp, they'll see the trees instead of the boats once the trees are mature. So we know there was a concern about that, and we're going to do everything in our effort to make it look as good as we possibly can in an effort to appease as many people as we can.
Guiding gets responsive. That's a good idea. All right. Any further questions of Randy from anybody? Thanks, Randy. I appreciate it. All right. Move on to committee business and reports. All right. We have the consolidated committee reports. They're all in place. Everybody had an opportunity to look at them. Do we have any requests for funds?
I have nothing.
No, that's not.
No reports and no funds request.
Okay.
I have one.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion for $82.80 payable to Vincent Promotions for golf committee for golf pencils.
So moved. Do we have a second for that?
Second.
Tom made the motion, Linda made the second. Any other questions on it?
Also, the golf committee wanted me to mention that the Second Century Club, headed up by John Jones, is winding down. They just had a few more projects. They've got a little money left over in there, but they wanted to get it out to the membership that the money left over will go strictly to the clubhouse. Not to the golf or anything, just strictly to the clubhouse.
Thank you. All in favor of the allocation for $82 for pencils? Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. That's approved. Eric?
Okay, I have two things. The new member committee has already been approved for $200 to purchase poinsettias. They want to go and have an additional sale Friday night at the lodge, so they need some additional funds. They're asking for an additional $100 to purchase poinsettias for resale.
$100.
$100 additional, so a total of $300.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Dwayne seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. $300 for poinsettias.
Who
They coordinated.
Who seconded that?
Dwayne made it.
Who first?
You can. Yeah, when you bring it in, it's you.
Yay! All right, so I'm new to this, okay. All right, yeah, got it. You had a question about the poinsettias?
I said that they coordinated with Matt in terms of getting that all.
I don't remember that. I was at that last meeting and I do not remember that discussion, but I will suggest it.
Yeah, just make sure. I know he was approached at one point, but in terms of just cross the T's and dotted the I's, make sure that he isn't counter-programmed or something else going on up there as well. Great. Good.
No, I'm not done.
Oh, sorry. It's such an exciting part of the program. I was.
Yeah, I know.
I'm on the edge.
Smile at the camera.
Okay. ACC, I believe that we have a new member they'd like to add. Seen a resume, Nancy Wolbacher. I believe that we need to approve her to ACC. She won't be the chairman, just she's on the committee. They've all approved for her to be on, but I think we need to, because it's ACC, approve it. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve Nancy Wolbacher to the ACC committee.
We have a second. I don't remember myself. But
Second.
Linda seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes.
No.
Okay, I have a couple of things. Wanted to clarify, the ORV dice run, just to add a little information, to what you had previously. Again, it's it's October 21st, it's a Saturday. It's from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And two things are going to occur. One, we're going to have 50/50 raffle tickets that can be purchased. And you can contact one of the ORV members, or you can contact me. But of course, Chaz Cross and Jim Sigafus are kind of front and center with the ORV. Anyway, one with ORV, continuing, I have a request, I have a motion to approve payment to Jim Sigafus out of committee funds for ORV track work for $42.99. And would you like me to go over the?
What did Sigafus do for $42?
Well, let me tell you, we have some linchpins that were purchased to help, the linchpins for, was that the tractor or the cutter?
Yeah.
Disc?
Yep.
Okay. Linchpins for the disc. We have diesel fuel for maintenance of the track. And that really kind of sums it up.
Okay.
$42.99.
Do I have a second for that? Fritz is on. Good try.
And with that, I conclude.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Anything, Fritz?
No. So on the committees, so I have the garden committee in the Dalton area, and I've reached out to Belinda. I haven't been successful in getting a hold of her yet, just to get her But the adopted area is listed as Carter Floyd, but she moved away, correct? So
Correct.
is there another contact?
There is Greg has been working on that, and he has another person who he's going to nominate. I'll send it back to you.
Okay.
He wasn't prepared he wanted to make sure that he was back and had everything done before, but I think he's got somebody for that position, so.
Great.
But if I don't remember, just send me an email.
Enjoy the free time now, because once somebody's on that committee, man.
That's right.
Dwayne, anything?
We did an e-vote on the rifle committee for the open house and trap shoot. There'll probably be some, we're gonna have a cookout too, so there'll probably be some receipts of that.
Do you have a date for that? Because
It's the 30th
okay,
this month.
of this month. Did we approved that previously? I can't remember.
It was on an e-vote.
It was on an email?
Yep.
Okay.
I was gonna find that, but I put it in my other file.
Okay. Well, we've already approved it. That's what just updating this is good. Actually, I've got my email list here.
Jim, you've got one request for range committee that I gave you. For funds.
I'll hand that out. Yeah, although he's not.
It's right, I think that's it right there, second page there.
This is another one.
Like on the
Yeah. Yes, you did. Yeah, just-
files get shifted bigger.
They do. All right. Yes. Thanks for reminding me, Randy.
Looks like there's a request for 6537 for target brush. That was to clean out the trap chute. Some,
What kind of rush?
was it? Target brush.
Target rush.
Set of 6. 267. The machine gets a lot of dust down in it. There was a set of brushes that could go down that the company made. Flight radio, that was a thing that wears out to the machine. Actuator to as well.
So
Parts for the
6537.
6537 for parts and cleaning for
Payable to
the
who?
trap chute.
The trap shoot machine made the purchase.
No.
Oh, who made the purchase?
Yeah, you're reimbursing.
Greg Blank.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, generally, with most of the committees, doing people go out and spend the money and we reimburse them. All right, we have a motion for 6537 to Greg Blank for cleaning brushes for the trap chute. Second. A second. Eric Lapp, second. All in favor?
Aye.
I have one, and this is for the Food Fund and Fellowship Committee. This is from Kathy Clevenger. They're going on with they're gonna be selling more Hideaway Hills clothing as a fundraiser for the Raise the Deck campaign, and she's asking $420.33. And this is for hoodies and sport grade hoodies and other apparel, and this is all gonna have Hideaway Hills imprints on it. So I guess I can make a motion for this even though
President's not supposed to, but I think you can.
yeah. You wanna make the motion?
I would love to make a motion.
Could you get closer to the mic?
I'd love to make a motion that for $420.33 be payable to Kathy Clevenger for apparel.
It's not Kathy, is it?
Pardon?
It's not the Kathy.
Kathy, it is to Kathy.
It's
Isn't
got,
it?
motions by design. Payable.
Okay, you're right, that was an email, was it to the, okay, yes.
To be payable instead of Kathy to Promotions by Design
Yes,
for this.
You a second?
Second.
Linda seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Anything further from the committee reports or business?
Just good to talk.
There being none, do we have any, Ginger, do you have anything to say? It's
No,
time for open forum, so.
Is it? I don't, other than the fact that for the first time, I do the Echo, and for the first time, I'm not sitting over there on the board, so if there's something that needs to go in the Echo, I need to know about it, because I won't be sitting there making my list of what might need to go in there, so.
What is the deadline for the next?
This Friday at 9 o'clock. It's always the Friday after the board meeting at 9 a.m.
And that's on the official Highway Hills calendar.
That's right.
I have a question about the calendar. Do we send,
Yes, I need to add you to that. I got it, and haven't done that.
Sweet.
We'll do that. Email works better.
You need to get your water aerobics off the calendar.
Didn't I take it off yet?
It was there a day or so ago.
Oh, well then.
I just, yeah.
I know, I
Water
do.
aerobics is still on.
See, I'll make a note of that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Or someone will come to the pool and be standing there waiting on it.
All right. There being no open forum, I don't have to tell anybody it's only 3 minutes and all that kind of stuff. So let's go on then to confirm the e-votes. Each have those in your packet. So we got a few different things, because we had some of them that were voted on before the annual meeting, and then others that came after this group was constituted. So if you look at those, the first two that are listed, the first was changing the time for the ORV dice run, which was 7 ayes and no negatives. And then the other one was to confirm the practice of waiving the new member fee when a member buys additional property in Highway Hills in the name of a business, or a member whose property is in the name of a business buying additional property. And on that one, there were 6 in favor and 1 abstention of the 7 votes. Could I have a motion to reaffirm those e-votes, please? Valerie?
I will move that
Reaffirm.
Second.
Dwayne is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay, then we have a series then of votes, which are all, again, looking at them, there are no negatives on any of them. They're all unanimous votes. These would be ones that have happened since this group was constituted. And there was reimbursement for PJ McKee for $137. Vote to approve new member committee to have their poinsettia sale on November 24 and 25. Those were both 8-0. $75 lodge gift card for Ginger and Dave Bree for their work on the chicken dinner fundraiser. That was 6-0. Paying a deposit by September 1, 2017 to Pop Gun to be on a social committee fund. That was an 8-0 vote. We waived an easement on lots 2008, 2009, 8-0. E-vote approval of up to $600 for Taylor rental for social committee, which we needed the tent for the social committee. We also waived 1 member's building code fines in hopes of gathering a solution to the problem. That was an 8-0 vote. And Lakes Committee money to buy foam blocks to be used in pontoon removal. Another 8-0. $630 payable to Beatty Lawn and Tree Service for storm cleanup on the golf course. 7-0. And then an approval to pay John Jones for materials that were bought for the clubhouse bathroom. That was another 8-0. In the range committee open house, there you go, Dwayne. There we are. We vote to approve the range committee open house on September 30th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in a track shoot. Let's go ahead and have a motion to approve all of those, please.
We'll make that motion.
Eric, second is Fritz. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Let's move on. Okay, then we have some small expenditures that we are going to do. I'm going to go through them quickly. They're mostly for the golf committee, and those are from the Calcutta 3452 to Jim McNabb, $267.03 to Karen McNabb, $7.53 to Karen Baker, $27.97 to Sherry Panacea, and $140.92 payable to the lodge for Calcutta dinners For the workers, Mike Adams, Bill McCombie, Jim Lloyd, John Jones, Bob, and Rita Saxton. I have a motion to approve those e-votes.
So,
Dwayne is on. Do I have a second? Valerie's a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes. All right. Next thing is board committee assignments. I think you all have seen the board committee assignments. Look like a pretty good group to me. I said they're all there in place except for the, this is for who are the board reps for any of them. Does anybody have any discussion, question about those issues at all? Greg has talked to everybody, he assured me that you were all agreeable that I wasn't, there would be no controversy here tonight.
So that's the next subject.
That's the next subject.
Who has,
Pardon?
who has communications on the
Me.
website?
Yeah, okay.
Even though you didn't want us. Okay, just
I was
checking.
gonna ask if they were all signed, I guess. They got
Yeah, there was the only complaint about the assignments, and that was the person who had to do communications in the website, because there's no way that I'll be able to control those two groups, but.
Don't even plan on it.
Huh?
Don't even
Don't
plan
even
on
plan, I
it.
will.
Melissa and I will take care of it. We'll just let you know when you're needed.
I want that.
That's not a bad deal.
Absolutely. Do I have a motion then